President John Kennedy had the New Frontier. Donald Trump had Make America Great Again. Some governors pick slogans or mottos sort of for their new beginning. Do you have one or something that you work with when you talk about the changes you're going to make?
We can do better than still revolutionary, I think. Look, you just said, let's make this a fun state.
Yep.
Let's make this an innovative state. Let's make this a state where you want to move.
You know, we talked about this.
Still working on it.
You know, with both of you over the years, and that's the brain drain in Connecticut. Young people, and you've talked about your own children who had their challenges with wanting to stay here, but wanting also to go where the where the grass is greener. How are you going to keep those 20-somethings from leaving Connecticut?
Well, I'll start. I mean, first and foremost, as I tell all the CEOs, we have a hard time recruiting them from Boston and New York. Well, get them while they're still at CCSU and Trinity and Yale. Get them while they're here. Tell them about the opportunities you're here. That's one way to keep young people here. And more importantly, bring our cities back to life. That's arts, that's culture, that's investments, that's great schools, that's transportation. They don't have to be in a major metropolitan area, but having vibrant cities is key.
You both have 20-something children.
We do.
What do they tell you needs to be done to make it more desirable?
Well, so I have two daughters in New York. I think you have two kids in New York, and I have one child here. And they really want to have public transportation. That's what they have in New York. I think that's why New Haven and Stamford are on the upswing. There's been a lot of great housing built around train stations. We got to do more of that. And we have to make sure that our young people who are at community colleges and our state colleges and universities have great jobs waiting for them. So that's internships at great companies. Dr. Nunez was telling us about a partnership she created with the University of Hartford. Interns go from her college at Eastern into great internships and then get good jobs.
You know, jobs aside, they also want to have some fun. They want to have a vibrant nightlife. They want to have culture. How can you address that as governor?
It's an amazing state. Let's go. I mean, where else can you be that close to the beach and also next to the Litchfield Jazz Festival up in southeast Connecticut? We're going to show off the state of Connecticut. That's one of the things that Susan and I want to do at the inaugural ball. I want you to see everything that's available here. We've got the best restaurants from around the state are going to be offering up their best food. We have the local wineries, we have the local breweries, all of whom are going to be serving up their product. We're going to show off what Connecticut's got to offer.
Tell us a little bit more about the ball, what we're going to see. I know people can go. It's open to the public.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a little less formal than it's been in the past. In the past, it's been, all table seating. And this is going to be an opportunity to talk to lots of different people, to hear Joe Scarborough sing, and Senator Logan play the guitar. It's going to be fun.
I like Morning Joe. Everybody else, I'm leaving Connecticut, I'm moving to Florida. No, I got a guy, Scarborough, who left Florida for Connecticut.
And became a Democrat, by the way.
Independent.
Thanks,
I think he's an independent.
Oh, okay. Well, close
Joe,
enough.
Keep dreaming. Keep hoping.
Let's talk about sort of this attitude change that really needs to be made among the people of Connecticut, because we call it the land of steady habits, cranky Yankees, things like that. And there are some people who, particularly during the campaign, were very negative about the state. How do you change an attitude? Because there are still people moving out. A lot of people moved out in December. My next door neighbors are moving in March to Florida.
I think the voters chose optimism because they chose us. We had a very positive message. Our theme was Believe in Connecticut, and people want that kind of very positive approach.
Are you getting some good advice from Republicans? I know David Stemmerman has penned a couple of columns.
Thad Gray was on our transition team along with other Republicans, David Salinas. We took good ideas from everywhere. Across the nonprofit, the business community. We've had all kinds of people participating.
I don't care. Leave your labels at the door.
Yep.
Our policy committees have been great, public and private, Republican and Democrat, and that's my message to the legislature as well. I need this. We've got some wind to our back right now. I know it's a honeymoon period and everybody's feeling pretty good, but I need you to keep that spirit going. Get us through this budget cycle. Let us turn the corner.
And we want to change the culture in Hartford because there was a lot of bickering in Hartford between the governor's office and the legislature. And we don't need that. And that's why right after we got elected, the first thing we did was to meet with the Republican legislative leadership and the Democratic leadership. We're taking all good ideas.
The swearing-in ceremony is always steeped in rich Connecticut tradition. You have the parade, the governor's horse guard, and so forth. And people look for that iconic picture of all the governors sitting next to each other in order. Weicker, Rowland, Rell, Malloy, and then Lamont. Will they all be there?
They certainly have all been invited, and I will make the calls and see if we can get everybody there. I like that tradition. I like that history.
What kind of message are you going to say when you do the swearing in and have your inaugural address? What do you want to tell people?
The swearing in, we've got 4 different faiths are going to be represented. And I celebrate the fact that Connecticut is a welcoming state. And I think we're stronger for the diversity of different faiths, people from different regions of the world. And we're going to celebrate that. I'm going to celebrate the fact that Susan and I went to see the musical Hamilton with about
great.
2,500
we were there, yeah.
high school kids. And my favorite song is I'm Not Going to Waste My Shot. And that's what Alexander Hamilton felt. That's what these kids felt. And that's the message we're telling them. And I think that's what Susan and I feel. And that's what I'm going to tell the young legislators as well. Don't waste your shot.
Touching on that, how long will this honeymoon period be? How much patience will the Connecticut electorate have in terms of letting you make these changes? Because it turns sour for Governor Malloy fairly quickly.
Probably until I submit the first budget and people see the scale of the changes that we've got to make. And it's not going to be easy for anybody. But I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to put out there a hard budget, real numbers. And if anybody wants to make changes, just make sure the changes are real so that we end up with a budget that's balanced not just this year, but for the next 4 years.
We will have proposals that will appeal to progressive legislators and ideas that are going to appeal to the business community. We have to have some of both. And I think that mix has been missing. And I think it'll help propel us forward.
You know, there were some who said that one reason why Governor Malloy didn't get more accomplished was because he had a prickly personality, people would say. What kind of relationship, we know that you've got a long-time relationship at the Capitol because you were Secretary of State for 3 terms, but in terms, you're kind of a newcomer there, you know a lot of them, but what kind of relationships are you building over the transition?
I was reading one of these what's going to happen for the next 4-year articles, and my old friend Tom Swan said something interesting. He said, Malloy is a rugby player, Lamont's a piano player. I think you're going to have very different style. And it's really important to me to make sure that I'm there in the governor's residence, people come, we can get to know each other informally, not just at the state capitol, that our door is open, and I'll take any good idea from wherever I can find it.
Well, we wish you...
Oh, and in fact, we've had a lot of legislators who've been involved in our transition policy process, and they're going to help us.
We wish you both the best of luck on Wednesday, an historic occasion, full coverage of the inaugural address on WFSB and WFSB.com, and of course, all the activities in the afternoon and the evening. We thank you for coming.
Come, everybody, January 9th. It's going to be fun.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you.
Governor-elect Ned Lamont and Lieutenant Governor-elect Susan Bysiewicz. We have all the information on how to go to the ball and the inauguration on our website.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Thanks for watching this Sunday. See you back here next Sunday.